My HOA sent me GORE photos after complaining about the AirBnbs. There they are. 3 pages of GORE photos, 3 pages of death threats, and 3 pages of legal threats. These were included in a cease and desist packet threatening to sue me and several other homeowners for defamation after speaking out about Airbnb businesses taking over our residential condo tower. In every one of these packets we received, an April 29th public comment made at City Hall is mentioned. And in every one, including those sent to the elderly, there was no real disclaimer nor warning about the GORE photos. If you were reading through this packet, you're suddenly hit with an eyeful of emotional distress. And in a lot of contexts, doing something like that counts as a felony, so please let me get these out of my sight. So, police reports have been filed, lawyers have been contacted, and I am already well in the habit of documenting everything. Unfortunately, I gotta keep details fairly lightweight and the video short. The exact logic behind why in the world they thought this would be a good idea will be a better question answered in court. Now, there already are at least 2 lawsuits in the works against this HOA. Last year, the building caught on fire in an office used by the big Airbnb company operating in the building, and the fire insurance company is suing the HOA over allegations of some kind of fraud over that. The fire repair company is also suing, alleging some kind of breach of contract over the work they were hired to do. There will likely be more allegations coming out in the lawsuits as the year goes on, and I believe all of this will reflect extremely poorly on the entire short-term rental industry, and give the rest of us a chance to finally solve this problem once and for all. I think we have a very real shot at winning lawsuits that could set a precedent that could change my state's HOA laws, and our STR laws, that is, the Airbnb laws, which could snowball into the laws changing in other states on a national scale. But as ambitious as that is, my own financial situation is in dire jeopardy. I'm taking care of my sick elderly mother in what are looking like her final years, and that is incredibly expensive. My HOA raised my monthly bills up by about 50% last November, and since then there have been thousands and thousands of dollars in attempts at charging us special assessment fees, and then there was this $3,000 capital contribution bill, which is usually part of a condo's closing costs. With this sudden, unexpected spike in bills, I simply cannot make ends meet like this. So, I'm starting a GoFundMe, and I have set the goal ambitiously. This is not just to get some financial peace of mind for myself, but actually to get these lawyers the money they'll need to save all of us living in this building. What's my current subscriber count at these days? We're at 432,000 something? If every one of those subscribers donated at least $1, we would totally be good to do all of that. I will be distributing these funds to the legal efforts primarily, and then to financial assistance for some of the elderly still living in this building who are in an even more vulnerable position than me. Because no one else can. This problem is not going to work itself out, and for all the Airbnb HOA condo tower horror stories that do exist out there, I don't think they've happened to a famous YouTuber with the resources and skills to actually do something about it. There is even a chance I could document my story here and share videos about this with you all, and if that chance does present itself, I will relish in the opportunity. I'm ready for this, and I have a plan. But before I wrap up, I just want to address 3 of the most common arguments we've encountered when bringing this topic up to other people who just can't believe what they're hearing. Why don't you just sell and move out? Okay, well, sell to who? Aquaman? Monthly HOA costs in this building spiked up 50% to over $1,000 each month, while property values are decreasing. Imagine paying a mortgage on top of that. That's filtered the kind of buyers willing to buy into that situation down to cash buyers who plan on reliably making hundreds of dollars per month in profit per unit. That means Airbnb investors. As the lawyers like to say, do you understand what is happening here? Why don't you just vote for a new HOA board? And, well, the problem with that is that HOAs are not a democracy. Most HOA elections weigh votes per unit rather than per individual human voter, which allows wealthy landowners to exercise a kind of minority rule here. We tried. I made friends with nearly everyone still living in this building and ran for the board myself with some other residents, and we all lost to Airbnb hosts and Airbnb investors. And the exact details behind how they held those elections and how they counted the votes are a whole nother can of worms for one of those lawsuits. But long story short is, HOA elections do not allow people to just vote in a new HOA board as easily as you might think. Why don't you go to the news or to City Hall? Alright, let's roll us a reel of news coverage.
That breaking news now at 7. Fire crews just putting out flames at a downtown Atlanta condominium.
The firewalls is where the folks who operate the AirBnb office is.
Channel 2 Action News Investigates is getting action for these homeowners.
It's a de facto 50% price increase.
We've gotten letters, dead bodies. That's what we got in retaliation.
I'd like my door fixed.
Condominium tells us that they promote a safe and welcoming and well-managed community.
Oh, and one last thing, just in case it needs to be said. I am not suicidal, and I have a cautious disposition towards hazards and accidents.